Have you ever sat down at the end of a long, exhausting day and asked yourself, what did I even do all day? Not the joking kind of question, but the kind you ask because you genuinely want an answer. Like you're looking for a wallet you swear you didn't lose. You look at your life and it feels like you've been watching a long-running TV series. But the main character hasn't developed at all. You try hard, you experiment, you set goals, you add deadlines, you make endless to-do lists. There are even days when you're so fired up that you truly believe you'll change your life in just a few months. But then months pass, you look back, and realize, aside from being a little older and maybe a little heavier, everything else pretty much stayed the same. You start wondering, wait, am I one of those people who are destined to stay stuck? But life isn't that cruel. You're not stuck. You're just being held back by something else, something that grabs the back of your shirt while you think you're running full speed. And that something is made of tiny, quiet habits you don't even notice. They don't make noise. They don't flash neon warning signs. They don't startle you. They simply shape your life gently, slowly, silently, so silently that you assume they're harmless. That everyone's like that. But these very ordinary habits are the ones quietly pulling you away from the life you actually want. Imagine you're rowing the boat of your life. You row with everything you've got, pushing forward with all your strength. But underneath the boat is a tiny anchor you can't see, holding you back. The harder you row, the more tired you get, yet the boat barely moves. You think you're weak, you think you're failing, you think you're not good enough. But the truth is simple, you just haven't seen the anchor. And those hidden habits are exactly that anchor. One of the biggest anchors, the one that keeps most people stuck, is busyness. You pack your schedule like you're stuffing clothes into a suitcase before a last-minute trip. Shoving things inside until the zipper is about to explode. You answer emails, reply to messages, go to meetings, run errands, grab a quick coffee to breathe, then go right back to working until late. At the end of the day, you feel like you've played the role of the most hardworking human in the universe. But when you ask, okay, what important thing did I actually finish today? You go silent. Busyness doesn't always mean productivity. Sometimes it's just a clever disguise for avoidance. Avoiding big decisions, avoiding uncomfortable feelings, avoiding the fear of doing something meaningful and failing. Small tasks are quick, safe, and give your brain those easy dopamine hits. So you choose them, you fill your day with them. You use busyness to convince yourself that you're being productive, when in reality, you're just spinning in place. Then comes perfectionism. If busyness is a pretty coat that fear wears, perfectionism is fear wearing luxury makeup. You think you're raising your standards, but really you're procrastinating. You have great ideas. You start, then you tweak, adjust, re-edit, redo, revise, and wait for it to become perfect. But perfection is like waiting for a bus route that was cancelled 3 years ago. How many times have you written something and deleted it? Filmed a video and scrapped it? Wanted to start a project but left it untouched year after year? Perfectionism is the sweetest trap because it makes you feel like you're not doing it yet. Not because you're scared, but because it's not the right time. And that lie is so easy to believe. And then there's comparison. The psychological trap that exhausts your heart more than any intense workout. You scroll through social media and everyone seems to be living an angelic, cinematic life, glowing skin, thriving careers, luxurious vacations, perfect partners, endless success. Meanwhile, you're sitting in your room with messy hair, holding a pack of instant noodles, feeling gloomier than a rainy July afternoon. But you forget the most important truth. You're comparing your messy backstage to someone else's polished highlight reel. And that is the most unfair comparison in the world. Nobody posts pictures of their failures, their breakdowns in the shower, or their stress about rent. Yet you decide you're inferior, simply because you're only seeing their best moments. Another quiet, dangerous habit is saying yes too easily. You're afraid people will think you're selfish, cold, or inconsiderate, so you agree to everything. You help everyone. You respond instantly to anyone who calls. You become the customer service hotline for everyone else's life, while your own life has no one answering its calls. The truth is, the more you say yes to others, the more you're accidentally saying no to your own priorities. You can't take care of your own garden if you spend all day watering your neighbor's plants. Then there's the habit of beating yourself up in your own mind. Sometimes you don't even notice it, but you say cruel things to yourself every day. You're so stupid. Of course you messed that up. Why are you so slow? Everyone else is better than you. If anyone else said those things to you, you'd block them instantly. But when you say them to yourself, you listen closely. And worse, your brain believes you. Your brain takes every repeated sentence and builds a belief out of it. Without realizing it, you're building a dark room inside your mind where your self-doubt grows stronger every day. And then there's waiting for motivation. You know the routine. One day you're pumped, writing down a dozen goals, feeling like Superman. Then the next morning the alarm rings. You hit snooze and whisper, "I'll start when I feel motivated." But motivation doesn't follow a schedule like a doctor's appointment. It comes and goes unpredictably. Like a neighbor's cat that shows up only when you don't need it and disappears when you do. If you wait for motivation before taking action, you'll only ever act when you're in the mood, which is almost never. Finally, the biggest, heaviest, most stubborn anchor of all, fear of failure. This is the one that stops people from starting anything worth doing. They don't dare take risks. They don't dare try new things. They don't dare chase dreams. They fear being judged. They fear doing it wrong. They fear not being good enough. They create 100 worst-case scenarios in their mind, then use those scenarios to convince themselves not to try. But here's the truth. Not trying guarantees failure. Trying may lead to mistakes. But mistakes are progress. Fear of failure isn't the opposite of success. Fear of failure is the failure. If you take a closer look, all of these habits have something in common. They don't destroy you dramatically, but they slow you down little by little. They drain your energy, dull your confidence, cloud your clarity, and quietly convince you to stay small. But here's the good news. The moment you see them clearly, you've already completed half the journey. You don't need to overhaul your entire life overnight. You just need to pick one habit. Notice it, understand it, respond differently, just a tiny bit. A little today, a little tomorrow, a little every day, and one day, you'll sit down, look back, and whisper, "Wow, I actually changed. Didn't I?" Change is not flipping your life upside down. Change is adjusting the tiny gears, the small thoughts, the subtle reactions. You don't need perfection. You just need honesty with yourself and the patience to keep going. Everyone has these hidden habits, even the people you admire. The only difference is, they learn to see them and then fix them. And you're just starting now. But starting now is still infinitely better than never starting at all. You don't need to make your life explode into fireworks in one day. You just need to remove one small anchor at a time, and the boat of your life will begin to glide forward, lighter, faster, and far more aligned with where you want to go than you ever imagined. You don't have to turn your life into a full-blown spectacle overnight. Life doesn't change with big explosions, it shifts through small, quiet, consistent movements. If you can gather the courage to lift each invisible anchor, one by one, you'll feel your boat start to drift. Slowly at first, like a deep exhale you didn't know you'd been holding. Then lighter, faster, and surprisingly, it moves so precisely in the right direction that you might laugh and think, "Wait, all this time, was it really just that one tiny knot holding me back?" And here's the beautiful part. Every anchor you remove reveals the next one. Each step forward opens a new question, a new layer, a new possibility you never knew existed. That is the real journey of change, not loud, but profound, not explosive, but enduring, and you've only touched the surface. If you want to discover the other anchors, the deeper layers we all carry but rarely recognize, then don't stop here. This journey is far from over, and the next video will open another door, giving you a clearer look at what's hidden beneath the surface of your own mind. Because sometimes, understanding just one more thing is enough to change the course of your entire life. For now, goodbye, and I'll see you in the next one.